Welcome to True Crime and a Dime.
Where we tell you a chilling story
in 10 minutes time.
If you probably know by now, but if you're new, this is our short story segment where we share a story that's, 10 to 15 minutes long, and we do 4 of them.
Yes, because there are still cases out there that may not be long enough for a full episode, but deserve the attention.
Yes.
And
we are staying on the train of themed episodes for this one.
Yes, we are.
Today is Hitchhiking Murders.
Yep, and I didn't struggle too much finding cases for this, actually.
I did.
Yeah, you were saying that because a lot of serial killer or...
Yeah, no matter what I typed into Google, all that would come up is the Hitchhiker Murders, like the serial killer case from California.
Yeah.
And then it also talked about one in Massachusetts too. But I was like, no, I just want single people that were murdered while they were hitchhiking.
Oh, my one is Massachusetts, so maybe it's the same one that came up.
Oh, maybe. Actually, I do have a double person one, but mine are international because whatever reason, I know there's plenty of people in the U.S. that have been murdered while hitchhiking.
I mean, sadly, guys, sadly, but we could.
Yeah. I just could not come across any names.
Yeah.
So if you know any, we can do this again. Let us know.
Yeah, or even honestly, even if it becomes a full case, we don't mind covering a
yeah.
It doesn't have to be a true crime and a dime, but
yeah, maybe we'll have to cover the Hitchhiker Murders since it's apparently all over Google.
Yes. My one case that I will be covering is unsolved. So that one.
Both of mine are.
Are they? Mm-hmm. Only my other one is solved, but the and it's old. It's from, of course, that day and age of hitchhiking. I'm sure most of these are.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, my first one's a little more recent, but my other one's from the 70s.
That's so funny. Mine's like that too. One's a little more recent.
Oh.
But
okay. All right, so I'm going to start us off with the case of Amber Tuccaro. Amber Tuccaro was 20 years old when she left her infant son with a friend at a motel on the outskirts of Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, got into a vehicle with an unknown man, and she was never seen alive again. Amber Alyssa Tuccaro was born in 1990 in Alberta, Canada. She was a member of the Mikisew Cree First Nation. At the time of her disappearance, she was living in Fort McMurray, Alberta, with her mother and 14-month-old son. She was adopted by parents Andrew and Vivian, who goes by Tootsie Tuccaro, when she was a baby, and she became the baby sister to 4 older brothers. Amber was described as the apple of her mother's eye and was known for being a bright light in her family. Paul Tuccaro remembers being very protective of his adoptive sister. She was vibrant, outgoing, and had big dreams. She never failed to make those around her laugh. She loved to sing and dance, and even though she wasn't great at either, she and her mom would laugh when Amber talked about being a big star one day. In the summer of 2009, Amber gave birth to a baby boy whom she named Jacob. I didn't read anywhere about the father being involved in the baby's life. It said that she adored him and took on the responsibility of caring for him very seriously, even though she was only 19 years old at the time.
Oh, good. It's hard being a young mother.
It is, yeah. I can imagine. Amber dreamed of having her own place to give Jacob a good life, but this proved to be difficult for her. She stayed at the Unity House 3 times, which is an organization that offers resources to help women find places to live. She struggled with this transition each time and would ask her mother to pick her up and take her back home. On August 18, 2010, Amber, Jacob, and a woman she befriended at the Unity House flew from Fort McMurray to Edmonton for a weekend trip. Amber's mom shared her concerns about the trip, but Amber reassured her they would only be gone for 2 days. In order to save money, they checked into a motel just outside the city in the town of Nisku, with plans to go into Edmonton the following day. Amber was eager to go into the city that evening, though, so she left her son with her friend and hitched a ride. I did see some conflicting reports on this, though. Some sources say she was leaving to get food. Others say she just wanted to go into the city. Either way, she found a ride and hitched to the city.
Well, that stinks though that we don't know the true story, because I don't know how. Obviously, you said both of these are unsolved, but like that is significantly different of how much time she would be spending in the city if she was catching a ride. Do you know what I mean? If you're going to just run to the
Right.
grocery store and get food, I should expect you back in an hour or so. If you're going to go explore town
Right.
and have time out, then a couple five hours out or something like that probably would be reasonable and not be concerned about where she is.
Right.
So it would be nice if we had like the full story here, but
yeah, and you'll see there was a very poor investigation, so that's kind of why we don't. I know. Unfortunately, Amber never returned that night nor the next morning. The friend she was staying with at the motel with alerted Amber's mom, Vivian, that she never returned to the motel, and Vivian immediately called the RCMP, which is the Royal Canadian Mounted Police, to report her daughter missing, as this was very out of character for her. She would never leave her son. Yeah. The RCMP, who are known to be racist towards Indigenous persons, responded with, "She's probably out partying and will eventually reappear, and they can report her missing in 24 hours.
That is not a rule. That is not.
It is not
a thing.
Never let anyone tell you that.
That is not a thing.
And this was 2010, so it wasn't that long ago.
No. And also, wait, does she have a cell phone?
She does.
Okay.
Vivian contacted the Leduc County RCMP detachment again to report her missing on August 20th, 2010. But 8 days later, on August 28th, the RCMP closed the case and removed her from the missing persons database, stating they had no reason to believe Amber was in danger.
Oh, but we haven't seen her in 8 fucking days. Okay.
Yeah, it's been 8 days. No one's seen her, heard from her,
she's
but
got a kid
she's
waiting at home for her and everything else. Fuck off. God, I can't stand authority.
Oh, I know. You suck, RCMP.
Yeah.
If you're listening, you suck.
Do better.
Amber's mom fought for almost a month to get Amber added back on the missing persons list, which didn't happen until September 23rd, 2010. Over a month after she went missing.
Wow.
The motel room Amber and her friend stayed in was left unprocessed, and that friend was never brought in for questioning or considered a person of interest.
So that's why we didn't get the real story, is that the friend was not even questioned.
Yep. Last person to see her alive, most likely.
Not even talked to.
Wasn't questioned. No. Amber's belongings, including a suitcase and its contents that were found in the motel, were accidentally destroyed by RCMP members due to a series of operational mistakes, miscommunications, and a lack of oversight.
Wow. This sounds like a real shit company. Real shit.
Not funny. It's so frustrating.
That's pathetic, honestly.
How do you accidentally destroy a victim's belongings?
In an active case, in an active missing persons case. Is there not?
This is why Indigenous people feel so like unheard and uncared about.
Yep. Because literally, what have they done in this circumstance to make us feel like this woman is cared about?
What have they done to prove otherwise?
Yeah.
The answer is nothing. Amber's mom, Vivian, wasn't even interviewed until 4 months after Amber went missing. The description of the vehicle Amber was last seen getting into on the night she went missing has not been released. In October of 2010, Amber was one of the women honored during the Edmonton Stolen Sisters Awareness March, which is a non-political grassroots movement meant to protest the violence Indigenous women face. And we touched on MMIW, Missing and Murdered Indigenous Women, early on in our podcast. It was episodes 5, 10, and 11 if you want to check those out. And I'll include links in our show notes again if you want more information about them and how to get involved with Indigenous awareness of all the missing and murdered women.
Yeah, I do believe that's May, the month of May, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The statistics are alarming. So,
Yeah.
in 2011, the Tuccaro family and the Stolen Sisters Awareness Organization hosted the Amber Alyssa Tuccaro Awareness Walk at Sacred Heart of the First People's Church. The walk, which raised awareness about missing Indigenous women, was followed by a vigil, and many of its participants had traveled from northern Alberta to attend. Now we're going to August of 2012, so now we're 2 years later. The RCMP released a 1-minute recording of a 17-minute telephone call from the evening of Amber's disappearance, where a man's voice can be heard in the background saying they're driving into the city as Amber questions where they're going. This call was recorded because Amber was on the phone with her brother who was incarcerated at the time, so all those phone calls get recorded.
Yeah.
Wow. So this was actually very useful and
probably the only fucking breakthrough evidence that was ever fucking collected because of
literally
automatic system.
It's literally all we have.
Yeah, that automatic
It's all we
fucking
have.
records, not because the cops actually put in some fucking work here.
Right, it's not because they did any effort.
No.
Yet. This is the only time in Canadian history that the RCMP has publicly released an audio recording during a homicide investigation. And it's a homicide investigation because on September 1st, 2012, not long after this phone call was released, horseback riders discovered partial skeletal remains in a farmer's field near Leduc County. The remains were sadly identified as Amber Tuccaro's through dental records.
No. Damn.
Yeah.
They found her body, though. Wow.
They did. Police pleaded with the public to help identify the voice if they recognized it, as they assumed this is the man responsible for Amber's disappearance.
Even if he's not.
And I'm going to
go talk to him.
Yes. Well, we don't know who he is yet, but yeah. I'm going to play the clip now of this chilling recording.
Where are we by?
We're just heading south of Beaumont, or north of Beaumont.
We're heading north of Beaumont. Yo, where are we going?
Just
No, this is a... Are you f***ing kidding me? You better not be taking me anywhere I don't want to go. I want to go into the city. Jeez. Yo, we're not going into the city, are we?
We're going.
No, we're not.
Yes.
Then where the f*** are these roads going to?
50th Street.
50th Street. Are you sure?
Absolutely.
Yo, where are we going?
50th Street.
50th Street.
50th Street.
East, right?
East.
Over now.
Travel.
South.
I didn't like that
that's
at all.
the phone call.
I didn't like that. I don't like those
scary.
vibes. Those vibes are no good. No good vibes.
Like she knew that they weren't going the right way.
Yeah, but like, and the way that guy's talking, I want to punch him in the face. I can already tell this is a predator.
Yeah.
Like, I just feel like the way, give me my fucking answers. I'm asking you a question. You give me my fucking answers. If you're a decent human being and you're giving me a ride and I'm asking you a fucking question, you give me the answer. No, we're heading in at the 50th. No, we're an exact address. You're dropping me off. I would never be hitchhiking, but you know, I'm just saying.
No,
but
yeah.
No, his whole vibe's off. Whole vibe's icky.
I mean, even with an Uber, this is something that could happen.
It is. God, that's scary.
You don't know.
Nope.
It is scary. Like that poor girl, like just knowing how this ended eventually, you know.
Yeah, and I can't imagine like being in that car. She's on the phone. She's like, "No, we're not going to the city. There's no way." Like, even though she's
and that's the thing, like this guy's ballsy. She's on the phone,
literally. Yeah. So I wonder if he's done it before, even.
Yeah, that's what I wonder.
I wonder.
Because there are lots of missing and murdered Indigenous women in Canada.
Yeah. Jesus.
So who knows how many
That's a
others there could
distinct
be.
voice. You can't tell me.
It is.
Somebody has to know that voice.
Yeah, how does someone not know who
It's
that
clear.
fucking man is?
Yeah, it's clear. It's not even grumbled man's voice. You can hear his voice. Who is this
Right.
man?
And you can hear that Canadian accent.
Yes. Yes, you can. That to me sounds like a not old, but older white man.
Yeah, like in his 50s.
Yes, that's what it sounds like to me.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. The RCMP believed that instead of driving Amber north into the city as she wanted, the man actually drove her southeast along rural country roads.
Let me meet this man in a rural country road.
Oh, I know. Let us have a piece of him.
Yeah.
The location of Amber's body was just south of the motel where she had been staying. I mentioned the full phone call recording that the full phone call was 17 minutes, but they only shared a minute of it. And that is exactly the amount of time it would have taken to drive from the motel Amber was staying at to the location where her remains were found.
Oh my God, that's sickening. So when that phone call ended, who knows what happened?
Yeah. And I didn't read anywhere if the phone call ended abruptly or if it was
like lost
just
connection.
they naturally ended their conversation.
Yeah.
It didn't say anything. All they released was that 1 minute, and that's it. So they might know how it ended. They're just not releasing it.
16 other minutes of being on the phone. That's quite a bit. I'm curious what else was on there.
Right. I know. Like, what else was he saying in the background or whatever, you know?
Yeah.
Like, what all did her brother hear?
I mean, he didn't report it right away.
No, I mean, so that's why it must not have sounded too sketchy. It
like
may have just come to a natural end, the conversation, and then he just pulled over and killed her. I don't know.
I was gonna say, as the brother, I would have been a little worried to be on this phone call.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, no, especially hearing her like question, like, "We're not going to the city. Like
what if you were on the phone with me and I'm literally in a car and I'm saying like, we're not going the direction? You'd be freaking the fuck out.
Yeah, I would be. I'd be like, jump out of that car jump.
Right now. Yeah.
What injuries you get from that is not going to be any worse than what is going to happen at the end of that
literally
phone or that car ride.
I was watching something on the other day and I can't even remember what it was, but I remember them describing how this woman who was being kidnapped jumped out of the car, and yep, you absolutely right.
Oh yeah, I do say I don't care if we're on the highway, I'm jumping.
I don't care if we're going 100 mile an hour. If the pavement kills me, I'm happy for it.
Yeah, because whatever else is going to happen to me is going to be way worse.
Yeah.
One article I read said two women, another article I read said 3 women, but a few women have come forward identifying the man's voice after this recording was released. And they all identified the same man.
Did they know each other?
It didn't say.
Okay, tell me. What's his name?
One of the women was quoted saying, "I know that voice. I've ridden with that voice before on several occasions. There's no doubt in my mind that it's his voice," end quote. Which is really scary to think about, that this same man could be frequently giving hitchhikers rides. That could be what he does. He just goes out looking for hitchhikers.
Yeah.
The RCMP said they investigated the man, but ultimately ruled him out as a person of interest.
What'd they do? Ask him how his day was?
Right, but I don't know what this investigation entailed because they've done a pretty terrible job up to this point. So how can we even trust that they completely ruled him out?
I don't trust that at all.
They
probably literally whatever the date was that she had passed away, they probably were like, what were you doing this day? Oh, I don't know. Chilling at home. Okay, sounds good, man. That's probably how it went.
Yeah. Yeah, they're probably, yep, you're cleared.
Yeah.
That's a perfect answer. Yeah. If multiple people recognize that voice as the same person, I think he needs to be looked into again.
At least.
And they haven't released who this person is either.
Oh, they haven't? Motherfucker.
No. That's what I'm saying. In 2014, Amber's family filed a formal complaint to the Civilian Review and Complaints Commission for the RCMP against the RCMP for their handling of this case. The report is 120 pages and includes 24 findings and 17 recommendations. It provides numerous examples of RCMP members failing to follow policies, procedures, and guidelines, as well as cases of members either not being trained properly or not adhering to their training.
This is, and these people probably make good money.
Yeah. And these are the people we're supposed to rely on when we are in danger and in need of immediate assistance.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie, Canada, it's given Los Angeles police vibes.
It's actually giving many U.S. city police vibes.
Yeah, but everybody gets the LA joke.
Yeah. Other findings from the report include that RCMP members failed to ensure the investigation was thorough, supervised, and monitored. The report found that there was no evidence to support allegations of conscious or unconscious racial bias from any RCMP members during the investigation, but recommends a public apology be delivered to the family. All right, so they're saying that there was no racial bias, but I don't know how true that is.
I don't know. We'll never know. But I bet you put a white woman in that forest, we would have had different investigation. I'm gonna say.
Yeah, I don't know that she would have been removed from the missing persons database 8 days in.
Yeah, I feel like it really gives I don't give a shit.
It does. In January of 2015, the second annual Amber Alyssa Tuccaro Memorial Round Dance was held in Fort Chippewa in order to raise awareness about her murder. In February 2015, Vivian traveled to Ottawa for the first ever roundtable into Canada's missing and murdered Indigenous women and girls, where she and dozens of families across Canada were met with representatives from 6 Indigenous organizations and 2 federal cabinet ministers. While there, she expressed her support for the national inquiry into Canada's missing and murdered Indigenous women and how they can fix gaps in the system when it comes to reporting these people missing. In November of 2016, the Justice Rally for Stolen Sisters was held at Corinthian Park in honor of the missing women who had been found deceased in Leduc County since 2002. The aim was to raise awareness about the cases and put pressure on the RCMP to solve them. In 2017, Amber's family announced they would be increasing the existing $5,000 reward for information leading to an arrest in the case. The funds came from their own pockets and community donations. They also kicked off the Justice for Amber social media campaign and created the Justice for Amber Tuccaro Facebook page, which everyone should go follow.
Yes.
In July of 2019, the commanding officer of the RCMP in Alberta finally apologized to the family of Amber. So that review was done in 2014, recommending an apology, is taking till 2019
Yeah,
for the apology to come.
We're real sorry.
I did read that the review was supposed to take 2 years, but it took 4. But still, why did they have to wait till the review was done to apologize?
I would say what are we trying to make sure that the crime actually happened before you apologize for nothing? Like, get the fuck out of here.
Right. Deputy Commissioner Curtis Zablocki is quoted saying, "Our Leduc Detachment's initial missing persons investigation was not our best work. The early days of our investigation required a better sense of urgency and care. On behalf of the RCMP, I am truly sorry," end quote. Then Zablocki left the press conference early, claiming he had a pressing meeting to attend.
Wow. I have never seen such I don't give a shit. Like, I can't, like, that's what this whole thing is literally giving. Like, it is such an inconvenience that this woman died. That is what it's giving.
Yeah, her poor family.
That is sickening, and it's absolute garbage that her family has to deal with this from the government, from the people who they're supposed to be looking up to help you.
Exactly. And that's part of why we started this podcast. We're calling all these bitches out.
Yeah, fucking do better. God damn.
You can't do your job, we're calling you out. Amber's family rejected the apology, and her mom said, quote, "As of right now, the apology doesn't mean anything to me. They did it because they were told to. An apology needs to be heartfelt. They're the ones apologizing, yet they can get up and walk away, end quote.
Yep, damn right,
You
sister.
tell them.
Yeah, you fucking tell them.
You
Because
tell them.
literally, I'm not even there. I didn't watch it. I didn't hear. But the whole entire thing is literally like I do not care. And like this family is fighting. Yeah. Like they're trying. I can see it because you said they were trying to get her back on the missing persons and fighting. And this poor mother, this poor family. This is terrible.
Yes. They haven't stopped.
Good.
It's very frustrating.
Because you know what? They haven't stopped. I bet you whoever fucking did this may not have stopped either. So.
Right. And it's not like she's still missing. Like, we have her remains.
Yes.
We know she was murdered.
Yes. This is a crime, actively.
By a man whose voice we can hear.
Yes.
Why aren't we taking this more seriously?
I don't know. Mind blown, man. This is.
Yeah.
Terrible.
It is. In January 2020, the RCMP received a tip from a man who alleges his father killed Amber Tuccaro. They also received another tip from the same man in December of 2019, alleging his father was responsible for numerous other missing person and homicide cases in Alberta. Police looked into some of these other alleged disappearances and found many of those cases had already been solved. The RCMP said it's still investigating the Tuccaro case and will take whatever action it deems necessary. And that's sadly where this case still stands.
Yeah, they're actively searching.
Yeah, that's just a statement they're putting out there. They're not doing anything.
They're not doing shit. God.
No arrests or suspects in Amber's murder have been named. At the time of her disappearance, she stood 5 feet 6 inches and weighed approximately 144 pounds. She had black hair with blonde streaks and her eyes were brown. She is believed to have been wearing a purple hoodie when she went missing. Those with information regarding Amber can contact the Alberta RCMP at 780-412-5261 or the Leduc RCMP at 780-980-7267. Tips can also be called into Project CARE at 1-877-412-5273 or submitted anonymously via Crime Stoppers at 1-800-222-8477.
Well, if you are somebody who has information, I do recommend that you call one of those last two and not the RCMP motherfuckers who can't do their own fucking job, okay?
Right, yeah. Probably Crime Stoppers you want to go with.
Yeah, I feel like that's a pretty reputable source.
Yeah.
You know. Wow. Well, I hope this gets solved because I really, deep in my gut, feel like this is not this man's first time doing this.
No.
And
especially with he's getting away with it for how long?
Yeah. Like, that kind of makes me sick in my tummy.
Yeah, I know.
I don't like it.
And I didn't also read anywhere that it like was released of how she died. Like, I don't know if they could
I was
tell
going to
from
ask you, but I was thinking because it was 2 years later that her body was found or whatever, that there's probably no way, nothing that they could have had any other than if there was like a gunshot wound or something. But obviously, I don't know if they would have released that. But yeah.
Yeah.
Well, for the Indigenous people and for Canada to redeem themselves right now, I really hope we get this solved.
Me too. It's solvable.
It is. It has to be.
Mm-hmm.
Goodness. Well, I'm going to tell you my unsolved. Just as frustrating because LA, man.
Oh no. Yeah.
Yeah. And mine also involves some Swedish tourists who decided to make their little way over to America to enjoy themselves.
Oh, that makes this even worse.
Yeah, I know. Because we travel a lot too. We would never hitchhike. But you, like you said earlier, you never know when this could happen in Ubers or anything.
Yeah, a taxi from another country and just take you wherever they want. You never know.
Yeah. I mean, this is during the hitchhiking era, but still very scary to think 2 women traveling. That's me and you, man.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, because it's not just one person. Like there's two against one.
Yep, and you'll see they always think, you just have in your head, 2 against 1, you have better odds, but
Mm-hmm.
it's not the case all the time.
Not always.
Yeah. So Marie Lilienberg grew up in Danderyd, Sweden. She had studied to be a gymnastics teacher in Sweden. In the fall of 1982, she decided to go on an extended visit to the US. She had previously visited the US on 2 separate occasions, so she was very excited to see more of the country. By January of 1983, she was working in a ski resort as a housekeeper in Vail, Colorado. And this is where she meets Maria Birgitta Wahlen. Maria grew up in Alingsås, Sweden. I'm probably getting both of those town names absolutely wrong. I apologize. But they're from Sweden. She worked as a preschool teacher in Sweden and had also made her way for an extended stay to see the US, but this was her first time ever in the country.
Oh.
Yeah. During the winter ski season, Marie and Maria became best friends, working together, and they had decided to do some traveling during the summer. So if you're not familiar,
And it's cute that their names are so
I know
similar.
Marie and Maria. Is that adorable? So in Colorado, of course, they have the ski season. So they're going to do their peak working season during the cold weather, and then summer, these girls are going to go travel.
Yeah, okay.
And that's what they did. For their first trip, they went to Hawaii.
Oh, nice.
I know. I was like, good choice. I mean, you're on the West Coast, right? And you're going to travel.
Yeah.
Heck yeah. Go see Hawaii.
Yeah. Might as well.
And then lastly, they decided to hitchhike down the coast of California. Maria had told her father, Ove, that it was safe in the US, and she saw it as a, quote, friendly country.
Oh.
Her friends she had...
Of course, we have to prove them wrong.
I know. Her friends that she had back in Sweden and ones that she had also made in the US warned her against hitchhiking and the dangers that can come with it. But Maria and Marie felt they could judge people accordingly to stay out of dangerous situations, and Marie also carried a pocket knife on her for protection. Unfortunately, we believe they're trusting nature from growing up in Sweden, which was mostly middle class, lower population, so less crime in that country. Less crime in that country in general compared to the US. And
Yeah.
especially, I'd say, comparing this to California back in the 80s here.
Yeah.
So I think it's unfortunate that, it's just their upbringing in the country that they came in, that they came over here with that sense of trusting people probably more than what they really should have.
Yeah.
Maria was known to keep a diary of her travels, which is later found, and that is how we pieced together a vague itinerary for the girls. They also were able to get in contact with the truck drivers that had given the girls rides down the coast. One driver they talked to was named Mark Hansen, who drove the girls from San Diego to Compton, which is just below Los Angeles. Hansen stated that a lot of the truckers see young female hitchhikers like they would see their own daughters. So they treat them that way and just make sure that they get to where they are going safely. He talked to the girls, telling them that it isn't safe to be hitchhiking and that it's not as common as it used to be.
Yeah, because this is the 80s now. I feel like that was more of a 60s, 70s thing.
Yeah, especially the hippie era of free. And, yeah. The girls insisted they would be fine, and Hansen was able to line up the next ride for the girls. This man took them then from Oakland right outside of San Francisco. They took them to Oakland, which is right outside of San Francisco. They had a friend there that they were going to stay with in Redwood City. On July 16th, 1983, they talked to their families for the last time on the phone. And while on the phone with Ove, the father, Marie promised him that they would stop hitchhiking because he was so worried about it.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
And they did it one more
They
time.
did it one more time on July 21st. On July 21st, Maria had wrote her final journal entry, and then the next morning, around 7 a.m., they left their friend's house on foot, where they were last seen walking alongside Bayshore Freeway trying to hitchhike. They only had $50 remaining for that trip in their pockets. They both had flights in 2 days back home, actually. So they were due back at LA airport, where they had stored their luggage as they were traveling. They were trying to hitchhike one last time back to LA so that they could go from LA to New York, where then they wanted to travel to see a friend that lived in Connecticut before taking their final flight home to Sweden. On July 24th, the girls were scheduled to fly out of LA that day, but instead, in the City of Commerce in LA, behind a gas station off of the Interstate 5, the girls' backpacks were found. When an associate of the gas station went to take out the trash into the dumpster around back, he found 2 backpacks containing clothing, personal items, souvenirs, 2 rolls of undeveloped film, wallets, and passports. On July 31st, their families reported them missing, and by August 5th, Ove Lilienberg and Lars Wahlen, the fathers of both the girls, went to LA to try and find their daughters.
Aww.
Yeah. They tried to spread the word through whatever media that they could, because from my research, it did not seem like police were doing much other than following up with the journal entry with talking to the truckers. I don't think they even made any kind of announcements about these girls or anything like that.
And how do we know these truck drivers are even telling the truth? What if they talk to the murderer?
I mean, yeah.
And he's just saying, oh, yeah, I gave them an earlier ride.
Or even like Hanson passed him on to the next guy. Just because he agreed doesn't mean he's a saint, you know?
Right, yeah.
And like at this point, I also wonder like how yours is with the indigenous is like these are women from another country that I feel like the police, for one, it's LA. I mean, but like I feel like the police, then it's an added element of like, well, I don't give a fuck, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, another case of like literally.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Yeah. So on August 18th, almost a month since the girls were last seen, 2 hunters were in the Los Padres National Forest, where they discovered the decomposing bodies of 2 naked women. They had first found an arm that seemed to have been drug off by a coyote, and then they began looking around more when they found one body in a ditch about 40 feet from Highway 166. The other body was under some bushes not far from the first. Due to decomposition, they were identified through dental records as 23-year-old Marie Lilienberg and 25-year-old Maria Wahlen. The results of the autopsy found the girls were sexually assaulted and stabbed to death. They could not determine if they were strangled due to decomp. This case goes nowhere for 8 years with no leads or witnesses to give the police someone or somewhere to even start looking. The lead that they do get happens randomly on September 26th, 1991. The Swedish consulate in San Diego received an anonymous call with some details of who they think did it. This anonymous caller described a Canadian man named Lauren, who lived off of money from the Canadian government, due to a possible mental disability. And every winter, Lauren would travel through California down to Mexico for the season. He said Lauren told him of 2 Swedish women he had met in 1983 that had tried to con him. After this phone call, police later identified the caller I was unable to find the identity. I don't think they ever released that identity, but they identified the caller.
Okay.
And the man named Lauren Horzog. That is who they believe could be the man that the caller is talking about. Lauren was known as a serial killer, committing these crimes with their partner Wesley Shermantine.
There's Canadians in this episode.
There are, yeah. You know what? I just realized that, yeah. They coined the name the Speed Freak Killers, and I think we should add this to the list, Kirsten, because I had never heard of them before.
Okay. Yeah, me either.
We might have to cover them. They were serial killers that killed up and down the coast of California. The problem with
I wonder if that's the Hitchhiker murders that I keep coming across.
maybe. I don't know their names. Like, I never looked up what the names were.
Yeah.
But maybe.
Yeah, I didn't really look into it that far, but I'll have to see.
Yeah, but this one's called the Speed Freak Killers. So I wonder if it's two different.
And maybe there's two Hitchhiker murderers in California.
Maybe. It wouldn't surprise me. I mean, come on.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me.
The problem with Lauren as the suspect is he would have been about 17 years old when the crime was committed, and he is also not known to have any connection to Canada. So him as a serial killer, Lauren, what was it? I can't remember her name. Herzog. They were not. I didn't look into it, but he was not from Canada. So this man called in with this detail saying like Canada doesn't match. So I wonder if the Lauren this caller was describing just happened to have the same name, but that who is the real Lauren though? It is weird about the Swedish travelers though in his phone call. So I don't know. It's mixed messages because all we have is this phone call. That's it.
Yeah.
This Lauren was described by the caller as 6 foot, 175 pounds, slight build, a reddish hair, watery eyes, pointed nose, and he was known by the locals as the guy who hates women.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Well,
he wore
that says a lot.
He wore a golfer's hat and old clothing. But again, there is no proof that the suspected Lauren was the right guy. There was never any charges ever filed for anyone in this case. There is no other leads that ever came in, and I could not find any definitive answers that police were actively trying to solve this case through the years.
I guess we have a trend here.
And this is 42 years later now, guys. 42 years later. And we never got any answers. And I also read, sadly, that Olaf, the father of Maria, died in 2020 before ever finding out any of the answers of what happened to his daughter.
That's so sad.
It is. And, like, I don't know. It was back then. I wonder if we would have different evidence and different stuff if it was now, because they found the backpack and stuff. We had the journal entries. I just feel like the investigation was just not properly investigated or put in any fucking effort to find this. Like, I really don't think any effort was put in.
Yeah, and I wonder if, like, with where the backpacks are being found at a gas station, like, did the killer put them there, do we think?
I feel like you would have to, right? Like,
yeah, it's just weird that he left the backpacks on a gas station and then put their bodies in the woods.
Yeah, at a national forest, you know.
Yeah.
And I didn't research how far, like, this gas station was from where their bodies were found. But, I mean, it's a gas station, and somebody who's traveling could easily just be stopping and then decide in the middle of the night and just decide to throw these out.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
But, yeah.
I don't know.
Again, another really sad, unsolved case. Terrible police work. Families trying to. I mean, the fathers traveled all the way from Sweden for multiple days doing media interviews and stuff to try and get information, trying to get it out there for their daughter. Why are they putting in the fucking work? Come on, police.
Right.
Like,
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
Yeah.
That these family members that are grieving and going through a lot of emotional trauma have to then also wear the pants of the police and do work themselves.
Yeah. It's crazy that me and you have 2 cases right here. The bodies are found. We have it.
Mm-hmm.
We have the evidence. We have the backpacks. In your case, they had a phone call and nothing. We've got nothing.
Yeah, like, do they still have this evidence? Can we test it for DNA now that it's 2025?
Yeah. Because like I couldn't find anywhere. There was so little information on this. I couldn't find anywhere that they even did any kind of testing on this backpacks and things like that.
Yeah, I bet if they tested that we could find something.
I feel like at least in the backpacks, they were in the dumpster. I understand the bodies decomposing after a month and maybe we really couldn't
Right,
get.
yeah, the backpacks, yeah.
Yeah. It's just so frustrating. It's so frustrating. These 2 young women, they were just traveling.
Yeah. Yeah, they were excited to see the country on vacation.
Yeah.
And it's also like with these cases, it's just scary to think of how many predators there are out there. Because these are not isolated events. Like lots of people have been murdered or assaulted in some way while hitchhiking.
Yeah.
So the fact that there's this many bad people out there just picking up hitchhikers to kill them is very scary.
It is. I will say, for all of the bad hitchhiking experiences, I hope there are good ones, because a random memory that popped in my head is, fun fact, my real dad used to pick up hitchhikers all the time, even with us kids in the car. My dad was like,
Oh, wow.
You need a ride? I'll give you a ride. We picked up many of people, and my dad was just a good old man, like it would never hurt a fly type of thing. So there's people, I still wouldn't do it nowadays, but
right.
What's frustrating is all these cases that are hitchhiking, we haven't solved them. There's so many that are unsolved. And I feel like if somebody's hitchhiking and they're doing this and they capitalized on a moment like that, I don't feel like it's the first time. I don't feel like it is.
No.
Or the last,
Yeah. Who knows how many others each of these perpetrators could have done.
Yeah. And I mean, out there in the West, there's so many desolate roads and desolate places.
Yeah, desert. Yep. And
it's scary. I bet in Canada too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Canada, there's woods everywhere.
Yeah.
Scary.
It is.
Next, I have the cases of Anita Cunningham and Robin Hoinville-Bartram. Between 1970 and 2018, 12 people were murdered or vanished along the isolated 800-kilometer stretch of road between Townsville and Mount Isa in Queensland, Australia, earning it the name the Highway of Death.
Okay. How many did you say?
12 people were murdered or vanished.
Yeah, that's if we go to Australia.
That's a lot for one road,
Yeah, we're not going to go on that one. I don't think I'm ready to risk it for the biscuit for that one.
Yeah, no. We're not going on the Highway of Death.
No.
The cases surrounding Flinders Highway have stumped both authorities and the community for more than half a century. One theory is that a thrill killer operates along the highway. Police have come across leads to support this, but none have been conclusive. It's more likely the crimes were committed by multiple perpetrators who happen to travel the same empty stretch of road, which is probably more scary, honestly.
To think that, it's like
that there's multiple people. Yeah,
this is the best analogy I can give. It's like if you walk out into a field and there's only one mine, it's not much to worry about. But if you walk out into a minefield and there's 20, I'm a little more worried.
Yeah, good analogy. The case I am focusing on today is that of 18-year-old Robin Hoinville-Bartram and 19-year-old Anita Cunningham. The two lived together in an apartment in the Melbourne suburb of Hartwell and were studying art design at the Prahran Technical College. On July 4th, 1972, the two girls left on a 2-week, 25-kilometer hitchhiking trip up Australia's east coast to visit Robin's mother, who lived on a pineapple plantation near Bowen in North Queensland.
You know what? This sounds like a really cool trip, actually.
I know. It does.
What the heck?
Anita's parents pleaded her not to hitchhike and even offered to pay for a plane ticket, but the girls wanted their independence and adventure.
Oh, that's crushing. Oh, no.
I know. You just feel so horrible for the parents in these cases.
Yeah, when something winds up happening when you gave, you
Mhm.
gave your kid an ultimatum.
Yeah, like that one instance where you're like, oh, it's not going to happen to my kid, even though you worry, and then it happens.
Yeah. I will say, every time me and Kirsten travel, her mom gives us the pep talk, and it's valid. I give it.
She does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every time.
This is why.
Doesn't
It can happen to anyone.
Yeah, doesn't matter that we're gonna be 32. She still gives us that pep talk, and I appreciate it every time.
Yep. Yep. Blah, I don't want to be 32. I will be soon from when we're recording this.
Yeah. Yeah. From
when this is released, I'm already 32.
Yeah. Happy birthday! Is that a gray? I'm just kidding.
I do have many, though. I do have many.
Me too, now that I'm growing this out. Oh, boy.
I have to get my hair touched up so often.
Yeah. We're just getting old.
Well, I go like every 6 to 8 weeks for money reasons, but it really needs to be like every 3.
Every 3? Jesus.
My hair grows so fast. Anita's dad dropped their friends off at the Tullamarine Freeway where they began their journey. Evidence suggests Anita and Robin made it to Mount Isa in Queensland before heading east along the Flinders Highway to the outback town of Hughenden and then on to Pentland in the Charters Towers region. I don't know what any of that means, but I'm sure if we have any Australian listeners, they know exactly where that's at.
I'll admit, yeah, when I just did the Dennis Nielsen case and I was like, they're giving me all the places in like England and Scotland that they are, I'm like, I don't know if I'm not just pronouncing them right, but like analytically, like in the right order. Like, am I saying this right?
Yeah. Right, yeah. No clue. The two women were reportedly seen at varying points along their journey, such as stops in Darwin and Mount Isa, but sometime that fall they would vanish without a trace. On November 15th, 1972, female remains were found protruding from a shallow grave under a bridge at Sensible Creek near Pentland, about 80 kilometers west of Charter Towers. These remains were sadly found to be those of Robin Hoinville-Bartram. Police identified her using dental records. She had 2 bullet wounds in the back of her skull, was naked from the waist down, and had been sexually assaulted.
Oh, wow. Look at these 2 cases. See? Us as women, I'm telling you, it's fucking rough out there.
It is, yeah. The weapon, a .22 caliber rifle, was never located.
A little 22, okay. He was probably out there. He was probably a hunter.
Maybe, yeah.
A little 22 usually used for like small game, like little critters.
Okay. Well, apparently us women are small game to him.
Oh, you know what? That is the most fucking sick and valid thing you've ever fucking said, actually.
Yeah. It's true.
Yeah, bookmark that.
We are hunted.
We'll make a TikTok out of that.
By gross men.
Yeah.
Yep.
Literally.
Anita Cunningham's body has sadly never been found, but she is presumed to be deceased by the same killer.
Oh, that just gave me chills, actually.
Yeah, that puts a whole other twist on this case. We only have one body.
That gave me chills because, well, they put in the effort to bury this body. It was in a shallow grave. Like, they put in the effort to try and get rid of this evidence of some sort. That woman could be buried anywhere out there.
Yep.
Or, I mean, there's lots of predators in Australia. Because how much longer was it later that they found her body? That was what?
They went they started their trip in July. Yeah. She was found in November.
So, yeah. I mean, predators could have taken that body away or anything. There's predators and stuff out there. So,
yeah. And police believe Robin was murdered in either late August or early September of 1972. So she was probably out there for maybe a month or 2.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And she was found November 15th, which is November 14th when we're recording this. So 53 years ago tomorrow.
53 years ago. Wow.
Crazy.
That is crazy.
Officers launched a desperate large-scale search involving high-tech equipment, excavators, engineers, and volunteers, but there was no trace of Anita. Robin and Anita were only 2 of 7 hitchhiking women who either vanished or were found murdered in Queensland between the years of 1972 and 1976. Police have not ruled out the possibility that both young women, as well as some of the other victims, have fallen prey to a serial killer, such as backpacker murderer Ivan Milat, who was convicted of 7 murders in New South Wales in 1996, or perhaps Arthur Stanley Brown, convicted of 2 murders and 28 rapes in 1998,
Oh my God.
but suspected in numerous other cases,
Oh,
including the disappearance of the Beaumont children in 1966, which we talked about them in our Lurking in the News Volume 1, and the 1973 abduction of Joanne Ratcliffe and Kirsty Gordon from the Adelaide Oval Football Stadium. So there's a few serial killers in this region that were killing at this time that they, are considering could it have been one of these guys.
yeah. What a fucking time to be alive, really. Let's be honest.
Oh, I know.
All these serial killers.
Yeah, the 70s were wild. Here, too.
Yeah, I
There
mean,
were so
here,
many
too.
serial
Yeah,
killers.
we had. God, we could probably name 5 right now in the 70s.
I know.
Yeah, speed round, Kirsten, go. Name me 5 serial killers.
Oh, God. John Wayne
Yep.
Gacy. Ted Bundy.
Ed Kemper.
Dahmer. Ed Kemper.
One more.
Ed Gein.
Yeah, that works. We did it.
I was trying to think of what time period Ed Gein was.
I know, I was trying to make sure.
Neither Anita nor Robin touched their bank accounts, nor made any contact with their families after leaving Melbourne. Another friend of Robin's named Kathleen Bertram has told the media that she believes Anita is still alive and claims a friend saw her working in a Melbourne bar more than a month after Robin's body was found.
So, like, in circumstances like this, like, I know rare, especially here in America, I don't know what it's like in other countries, but rare occurrences, we can sit here and say somebody was kidnapped, sex trafficked, they're still alive, they're still a person. But in a lot of the other circumstances, I feel like that false hope for the family is more torture than it is giving any kind of answers or any kind of, I don't know, hope like that their person is still alive type of thing.
Right. Yeah, it's tough.
It is.
Because you want to hope, but you also want to be realistic at the same time.
Yeah.
Kathleen is convinced that Anita knows who killed Robin and has since changed her name to Judy Borland and cut off contact with friends and family in order to protect them from Robin's killer. Kathleen asserts the killer is John Andrew Stewart, who would later be convicted of firebombing a Brisbane nightclub and killing 15 people in 1973.
Add that to the list. That sounds interesting. I mean, like in a
Yeah,
good
I
way.
know, right?
Like not in a good way. I don't know how to put it, but it just
In a storytelling way.
Yeah, that sounds interesting.
Captivating, yeah. According to Kathleen's sources, Stewart was last seen traveling with Robin and Anita in October of 1972. Most investigators and Anita's surviving family members, though, believe Anita was most likely murdered along with Robin.
Yeah, I mean, that's execution style, back of the head.
Yeah.
So you can't tell me that they didn't, even if they didn't do that right away to her, you can't tell me that was not the end for her as well then, unfortunately.
Right. And it makes you wonder, where was she when they shot her? Was she standing there? Did they, you know what I mean, facing away from them?
Yeah, this coward made them turn around.
Situation?
That I can tell you that this motherfucker. Ugh. And it's always
he probably purposely got them scared.
Yeah, and
begging for their life.
It always, like in the case I just did with Maria and these 2 women, one always has to die first, and that always kills me every time to think that one of them had to sit and watch their best friend get fucking murdered, and then I can't think of those things because I sit here and think
and know what's coming to you next.
I couldn't imagine.
No, I can't imagine how scared any of the people were in this episode today.
Yeah, and the sexual assault and stuff. God, this
Yeah, adding that on top of it.
I'm telling you, I'd like to. You never know how you'll react in these situations, but I really like to think that my attitude would be like, "Fuck it, I'm going down swinging."
Same. I'm gonna break your
I
kneecaps.
would like.
I'll bite your dick off. I'll do what I gotta do.
We will sit here and wholeheartedly admit we have no idea how we would react in a situation like this.
We don't.
But what I would like is that I would sit and fucking take some of your DNA at least with me.
Yep. I'm gonna get you under
They're
my
going to know
fingernails.
that I fucked your day up a little bit.
Yep. And they're gonna know who did it.
Yep, motherfucker.
Yeah, fuck you.
Yeah.
One woman came forward reporting she remembered meeting the girls with her mother at the Pentland Hotel in July of 1972. The witness claims she and her mother chatted with Robin and Anita at the hotel's bar. She's quoted saying, "The girls said they came to Pentland from Mount Isa in a truck with a young man they only knew as Cowboy, who called himself Richard. They said they were on their way to Bowen and they wanted a lift to Charters Towers, and one of the men who was in the bar there arranged a lift." End quote. According to the witness, the girls got into a car with a group of people, including the Cowboy. The witness claims she saw him the next day with a scratch on his face, but there was no sign of Anita or Robin. Queensland police have never publicly identified a suspect or a person of interest in the murders of Robin and Anita. And I didn't read if they questioned this Cowboy, if they were able to figure out who he was.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, that's where this case ends.
Ugh.
Anyone with information on the murders of Robin Hoinville-Bartram and the disappearance and suspected murder of Anita Cunningham can call Crime Stoppers at 1-800-333-000. I don't know if that's different because it's Australia. There's not 4 numbers on the end. But a $250,000 reward for information is still unclaimed.
Wow. That's a
big reward.
That's a fucking chunk, my guy.
Yeah. If you know something, please call in.
That highway sounds
53 years ago.
Yeah, this highway thing sounds interesting as well, that there's how many murders on it and it's literally got a reputation now.
Yeah. When I was researching this case, I came across some others that popped up in articles I read about this one.
Yeah. Well.
And one was like, the first case that we know of is 2 little young sisters.
No.
Missing from a bus stop.
Oh. Goodness.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll have to cover another case from that, since it's a highway with a reputation. But I hope that we can find answers for these 2 girls, Anita and what?
Robin was found. Anita is still missing.
The body's still missing.
And I can't imagine, like, did he kill Robin right there and then take Anita somewhere else?
I know, there's so many.
Like, where is she?
So many possibilities that ran through my head in a matter of 30 seconds when you were telling me this story.
I know.
What could have
happened. I can't imagine what she went through.
No.
I mean, she could have been trafficked, sure.
It is. Like, I'm not...
but it just doesn't seem likely.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's not a possibility. I just feel like not likely. Yeah, I don't feel like it's...
Right, but why just the one? Why kill one and traffic the other?
Yeah, that's also why I would think, like, that's not what happened here.
Right, because I'm assuming you make money off of that somehow when you want to traffic both of them in that case.
Yeah.
That's horrible to think about.
It's sick to think.
Yeah.
Women are just a fucking dollar sign in that circumstance. Like, that's...
Yeah. Yeah. Trafficking is one of the scariest things.
Maybe at some point we can do some survivor cases or something.
Yeah, maybe.
Ugh.
That would be interesting.
It would be interesting. It makes me...
It might be pretty traumatizing.
Yes. But what is this podcast besides trauma, really?
Right. Yeah, that's true.
All right. So my next case is kind of a different perspective of the hitchhiking, because the hitchhiker is the one doing the murdering. So Gary Lee Sampson was born September 29th, 1959 in Weymouth, Massachusetts. I didn't mean to say it like that. His parents, Charlotte and Albert, raised him in Abington, Massachusetts. Albert went by Herc. He worked as a firefighter, an ice cream truck driver, and a salesperson. Gary
Oh, God.
stated that his father was abusive, both physically and mentally. He would call Gary, quote, retarded, end quote.
Oh.
Yeah. At age 4, Gary suffered a brain injury and was also diagnosed with dyslexia. He never received any special education classes to help him with his academic struggles, so he ended up dropping out in 9th grade. He kept himself busy in his teens by committing petty crimes like theft. In 1977, at the age of 17, he got married for the first time out of 3 marriages in total. This marriage didn't work out, obviously, and I couldn't find too much details on how, but then in 1995, after serving a little bit of jail time for a theft he had committed, he was released and moved to Tamsworth, New Hampshire. Here is where he met Karen Alexander. She became pregnant, so they married then in June of 1997. In that same year, he met another woman and moved to South Carolina with her. Karen filed for divorce in the same year that they got married then.
Oh, jeez.
And they were married halfway through the year. So, aside from...
Yeah, that's a pretty short one.
Yeah, it was like less than 6 months there.
Yeah.
Aside from the terrible crimes he has yet to commit, he is also a womanizer up until the day that he dies.
Mm.
Most of the crimes he is arrested for were theft. And in 1998, he found himself back in jail where he meets Amanda Newcombs. Newcombs, maybe. It's probably Newcombs. He got Newcombs' grandfather to pay for Sampson's bail. And now that he was out, they ended up getting married by October of 1998. So here we are on to the third marriage.
Okay.
This is only 5 months after he went to jail. They had met, grandfather paid the bail, and they're married. Then the next...
I don't know that I would be approving of that wedding, but you know.
You know, I don't me either. But he must have... I didn't see any reports of this. Like, you know how Ted Bundy, you hear like, oh, he was smooth talker. He was, you know, really personable. I didn't read anything about this guy. But as you'll see of how much he's a womanizer, he had to have some smooth talking to get all these women to do what he wanted to them. Like, that's not his crime here, and that's not what I focus on. But I can't get over the crimes that this guy's committing throughout his whole life of theft and robbery and then eventually murder. His women galore.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It is crazy. Then the next month in November, he moved to North Carolina where he met Ricky Carter, and he started dating her on the side. But Carter realized what a shitty guy he was and kicked him out, thankfully.
Good.
She is quoted describing him as, quote, angry with the world and having an explosive temper, end quote.
Sounds fitting.
His next woman that he met was Karen Anderson in April of 2001. He tried to get her to start robbing banks with him, which thankfully she refused. And this is when Sampson began robbing 5 banks in the span of 3 months.
Ballsy.
Yes. At the age of 41, between April and July, he would enter banks and threaten the female bank tellers with a gun. He usually wore a disguise. It was reported that he lived with a lot of like drag queen dressers back in that time. So he learned how to do like makeup and dress up and stuff. So this is like, they were having issues catching this guy because of this.
Yeah.
And I tried to look more into these bank robberies because I wanted a few more details. I couldn't find like
Mm-hmm.
a lot of detail on the bank robbery, because I mean, 5 bank robberies in 3 months. That's a lot. I'm just curious, like, how much did he make out with? Is he, like, but I couldn't find
Right.
any of that information, unfortunately. So after the bank robberies, and he's still getting away with it, he fled in July to Massachusetts. When he got there, he tried to call the FBI to turn himself in for these bank robberies out of North Carolina. There is a telephone recording of this. A clerk at the FBI accidentally disconnected the call, and nothing else was done. Nobody called back. He didn't call back. Nothing. He was trying to turn himself in, and that was it. Call ended.
Oh, man.
The next day is when Sampson was hitchhiking in Weymouth, Massachusetts, when 69-year-old Philip McCloskey pulled over to be the nice guy and offer a ride.
Oh, 69?
69. Yep. He made McCloskey drive to the next town over, called Marsfield. This is when Sampson made him pull over. This is all at knife point, and he drug him a little bit deeper into the woods, where he stabbed him 24 times and slit his throat.
Oh my God. Why? Is he trying to rob him?
No, there's no real like motive here.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, there was never a motive that I found of anything. Like, there was never any reports of like robbed these people, got anything out of it. Nothing.
So this man is nice to give you a ride, and you're like, okay, let me murder you.
Yep. Yeah, it gets worse. You ready?
Oh,
He was
God.
then hitchhiking a second time to the next town of Plymouth, Massachusetts. And this is when 19-year-old Jonathan Rizzo became the next nice guy to offer Sampson a ride.
Oh, 19.
Mm-hmm. He forced Jonathan to keep driving until they came to a remote area where he forced him to walk into the woods. He then tied him to a tree, gagged him, and repeatedly stabbed him and slit his throat as well.
Oh my God. What's wrong with this guy?
Literally, I think, and this is my next sentence. At this point, he's just in a full-on rampage right now. Like,
Yeah,
I don't know.
he's a spree killer right now.
Yeah, that's literally what he becomes known for, with the word spree in it. Yeah. Like, he literally, I don't know what triggered all this, but he's just going now. Like, he's on a rampage. So he takes Rizzo's car all the way to Concord, New Hampshire. Once he gets there, he breaks into a lake house and hid inside. Of course, the caretaker of this property happened to be stopping in to check on it that day.
Oh, no.
This was Concord native 58-year-old Robert Whitney. When he entered the residence and found Sampson hiding inside, Sampson gagged him and strangled him to death. All
Talk about wrong place,
wrong
wrong time.
I cannot. That is like, you're just living your life.
Prime
Yeah.
example.
Just going to work or
Yep.
whatever, All of these 3 murders happened in the span of a week. So this rampage was over a week. He was caught in Vermont when he tried to continue running. He is now at the age of 42. He was arrested with a connection to all 3 murders. It took the federal court in Boston 2 years to see his trial, where he was pleading guilty for the murders of Philip McCloskey and Jonathan Rizzo. It
Oh, wow.
was a 6-week trial full of evidence, and after 10 hours of deliberating, he was sentenced to death in December of 2003. The jury...
Did he plead not guilty to the third?
Say that again?
Did he plead not guilty to the third? Because you said it was 2.
Yeah, it was
he
just
pleaded guilty to 2
for
murders.
the 2. Did I put it in here? I don't think he ever goes to trial for the 3rd one.
Oh.
Not that I could find, because I'm trying to remember if it was this case or the other case. I'm like mixing up details. But
Yeah.
I don't think he goes for the third one, or if he goes later. I can't remember.
Okay.
But he does, at least for the first two. He definitely committed the third one. Like, he admits to all of this. Like, he goes into detail of all of it, like in his trial and stuff. The jury deliberating had nothing to do with agreeing on whether he was guilty of this. It was to determine the actual punishment, because Massachusetts got rid of capital punishment in 1984. U.S. District Judge Mark L. Wolf first was going to send Sampson to New Hampshire to be executed, but he later decided he wanted a new resentencing for Sampson. After being sentenced, his lawyer David Runk started an appeal. This brought out that one of the jurors who were found to have lied during the questioning process. And when this was brought to the attention of the federal judge in 2011 now, okay, we're in 2011 now.
Oh, wow.
Yes, this is 8 years later. He decided to uphold the resentencing trial. So we're going for another trial for this.
Oh, jeez. Okay.
For what reason? I don't know much about this judge, but I don't like him. Just in a little research.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't really agree with this, but
So now we are in 2015. We're just wasting lots of tax dollars here for this new trial, and the crimes happened in 2001. 2003. It was supposed to originally happen in February, but Sampson was transferred to the United States Medical Center for Federal Prisoners. There, he was undergoing a mental health evaluation, and this apparently hindered his lawyer from meeting with him to prepare for the trial. So the trial finally happened later that year in September. First, prosecutors were deciding if they wanted to appeal the decision of Judge Wolf refusing to step away from this case. They did not appeal. Then the defense presented an 89 pages of motions that Wolf rejected. And with this rejection, it put the death penalty back on the table. All of this made no sense. Like, it was all for nothing. Because he wanted a resentencing because about the being put to death. And now, since he rejected the defense's motions, the death penalty was back on. So now on January 9th of 2017, Sampson was officially sentenced again to death.
Jeez, what a waste.
What a waste, right?
Some justice system we have.
Yeah. It's fantastic.
Oh, yeah. It's working.
Yeah. Now I want to put into perspective a little bit more for you Sampson and how gross he is. I found an article from February of 2009 where he is looking for a Valentine. He is 49 years old at this
From prison?
Yep, 49 years old at this point on death row. He had a profile.
No one wants your nasty ass.
You would be surprised, Kirsten. These women disappoint me.
Yeah, I know. Sickos.
They are, I know. So he even had a profile on a prison pen pal site where he described himself as, quote, an easygoing kind of guy with a good sense of humor.
How do they have access to this prison pen pal site?
I don't know. I really don't know, because later he's in a 24-hour lockdown cell. I don't understand.
Right.
He had an old picture of himself at the beach on his profile. Some things he claimed to enjoy were cooking when he could, and that he is divorced but husband material. He is cool.
Oh, he didn't want to use his mugshot as his
Yeah, come on, let's be honest here. I need an updated photo. At this point,
yeah, that's all I always got.
Yeah, that's like, don't catfish me. I want to know what I'm really getting.
Yeah. Well, I guess if you're on a prison pen pal site, you know what you're getting.
Yeah. Come on, man. This is great. He is quoted saying, quote, He is never to see the light of day again, but ladies, I am always willing to answer all letters and will always keep it real. End quote. And this is all from his 24-hour lockdown cell in Terre Haute, Indiana. I put in here, you don't deserve love, Sampson.
Yeah, you don't.
Fuck off.
Do you know if he's gotten letters?
I do believe he got letters, but I don't know of any specific stories.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do know. I'm pretty sure, like the way he,
Oh yeah, there's always
the way he was
women out
talking
there.
was like, yeah, he's gotten letters.
Mm-hmm.
So, 45-year-old Scott McCloskey was interviewed about this. He is the son of Philip, who was Sampson's first victim. He is quoted saying, quote, "It's just sickening. Good luck to those women. I would ask them, have you ever had anyone you loved taken from you in such a grotesque manner? 24 stab wounds and a slit throat is not a good way to go." And then
He's not wrong.
yeah. And then Susan Whitney, the widow of Robert, was also interviewed. She is 64 years old at this time, and she is quoted saying, "He'll never see death. He needs to die, I think, but not many do. Not less they kill a police officer. It's been 7 years, and we've got 3 beautiful grandchildren he's never seen." End quote. Yeah, and this so these articles that come out after they're already sentenced, it always makes me sad, like, to think of the victim's family, of like what these fucking killers in prison, like, oh, he's just gets to like talk to women and just to be and just live a normal human life when their family members don't. And so it's like,
It's sad.
yeah, it's so fucked up that they get to sit back and watch that killer continue to live their lives, even if it is behind bars. They're still like,
yeah, they're still alive and kicking.
Yeah. Unfortunately, Susan had to wait 12 more years, but on December 21st, 2021, Gary Lee Sampson died at the age of 62 at United States Medical Center for Federal Prisoners in Springfield, Missouri. I could not find a release of cause of death, although I did read possible liver failure.
Okay.
And that is the story of Gary Lee Sampson.
That was an interesting one.
Yeah. Do you know if that was the Massachusetts one you saw?
Probably, but I don't know.
Yeah.
But I would assume so.
Yeah, I mean, how many Massachusetts hitchhiking killers are there, really?
Right. Well, we hope you enjoyed this themed episode.
Yes.
Again, we would love feedback if you're liking them or not.
Yeah, or even different themes. Give us more themes to think about.
Yeah.
To give you a little sneaky peeky, our next one will be coming out right around the Super Bowl, and it might have a little bit of something to do with sports and killing and the things we cover here.
Yeah. Just sports themed.
Yes. So you can look forward to that in January. In the new year. Holy moly.
Yeah, oh my goodness, it'll be the new year.
Holy shit. I know, I can't.
This year flew by.
I did. I can't think about that stuff right now.
Because we started our podcast literally at the beginning of the year.
Yeah, we're going to have to...
I'll have to do a special 1 year episode.
Yeah, 1 year anniversary episode or something.
Yeah, just come up with an idea. If you have an idea, let us know.
Oh, well, I just thought of one. I was thinking about, why don't we each cover our most intriguing killer that we find? Like, mine's Ed Kemper, and I don't feel like a lot of people actually cover him. Like, people know of that.
Yeah, that's going to be a long episode.
That would be a really long episode. I don't know. Maybe we'll take suggestions of what you think we should do for our 1 year anniversary.
Yeah. Or even if you wanted to do more of something fun, like what we did for like the Halloween, we did more fun episodes. We could do something that route. Yeah. Let us know.
A special little episode. Let us know.
Yeah.
Thank you for watching. Please give us a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video.
Hit the subscribe button and bell to be notified of new uploads, and keep lurking around for our next video. Bye.